Yes. अवतार मेहर बाबा
की जय।
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की
जय।
So I think I start.
Yes, please. Yes, uncle. Over to you. Start.
Yes. Thank you. I was just today I just suggested somebody suggested that I should talk on Baba's 7 days after Baba passed away. The 7 days stay at
Last Darshan program.
Yes. No, what happened is that I was in Mumbai and I was working there in Mumbai. My family was there with me, and my son, eldest son, Prashant, was very sick. In fact, that particular day on which all this happened, she was very sick in the sense that she was carrying a temperature a little more than 104 degrees. And that was a little bit of worrying for us. But then I was in the office and I could know about all these things. Only the thing that it was told to me by my wife that Prashant is not well today. He is having a very high temperature. But when I thought that by the time I returned from my office in the evening, he will be all right. But no, it was still more than 104 degrees. And then I just gave my bag to my wife, and then without entering the house, I went to the doctor. It was quite a distant place. I had to take a bus and then go about half an hour journey. And he had sort of it's a skin disease, what we call is eczema. Very bad eczema. He had on both of his legs and also a little bit on his ears and all that. And a very young child that is suffering so much. And along with that, some sort of physical problems were there. And we were so very dejected because of these were the several medicines where we were trying, but of no avail, no use, in fact. And then ultimately we were trying some sort of a Ayurvedic medicine for which I had gone there. Then the doctors, the Vaidya or doctor, he was not. He just scolded me by saying that you are an educated person. You don't feel that you don't that such a high temperature. You must first take it to the doctor. I said that because I was a little bit in two minds whether I should take him to the doctor or I should report that him to you. So because the Ayurvedic treatment was going on, I came to you. And then he said, now I give you something, some sort of a medicine. You mix up some powder, you mix up with honey and immediately give it to me after you go home. And by the time when I came to the building in which I was staying on the fourth floor, on that building, I was just going to enter in the building. On the entry, I saw one of our Baba lovers whose name was Barbe, and he was very much active in Baba activities in Bombay. In fact, I also had taken a lot of interest. I was very closely connected with all the activities of the Bombay Center also. And then he stopped me and said that Pratap, I had gone to your family, and now I'm going back, and I have a very bad news for you. I stopped there and I said, "What is that news?" And he told me that Baba has dropped his body. And for the time, I was stunned. I was very motionless. I was, in fact, not in my the usual consciousness, but for some time I stand still, and then he just moved me and told me that now you go home and you make your program to go to Mumbai, you could go to Nagar. And he said that at 9:30 in the night, it was about 1 hour left. About 9:30, the Bombay people, Bombay Baba lovers have reserved a bogie for going to Ahmednagar. So you can come along with those people. You can come into the bogie. And then I went up. I started collecting my clothes, and my wife told me that she said to me that what you have decided, what you are going to do. I said, I am going to Nagar now, Hyderabad. And then she said that we will also come with you. I said, come on, without thinking anything about that child which was very sick. In spite of that, I just said, yes, come on, let us go all. And by the time, surprisingly, by the time I came from the doctor, the temperature had come down. And then we all went to the bogie, which was reserved for Bombay people. All the seats were occupied by so many people. They have already come there, and I went there along with my whole family. And just near that door, which we may not be required to open often, just near that, I spread something for the children to sleep over. And my wife and myself, we sat there just silently, not in a mood to talk anything. It was a very great shock for me, particularly for me, particularly for the Bhajan Mandali, because they were so very involved in Meher Baba's darshan programs, bhajan programs, then weekly visits to Guruprasad. Whenever Baba is there in Pune, we were any free time, we will just go to Guruprasad and sit there. And Baba had given us that sort of a permission to particular boys, particular people who could go there any time and sit there along with the Mandali. So that was the facility which was available to us. And in that, this news was heard by us. So it has really been so very upset and in fact broken down that both of us, she was also not talking anything. I was not in the mood to talk anything. Even the people in the train, Baba was sitting elsewhere, they were talking with each other, but we just kept silently. The children were lying down on the spread clothes, and then by morning we reached Mehrabad. But then during that travel, I was just having thoughts that it may be that the world may have to face a very tough time. And That is why perhaps Meher Baba must have called all of his lovers to Mehrabad to be close to him so that they can survive through this bad time. But then the newspaper wala, he was shouting that Meher Baba has dropped his body and his, his body will be returned by evening. And it was my correct decision on my point on my side because they had decided to put that body in the samadhi itself in the same day. But then Aditya Irani had issued circulars to all the people, all Baba lovers, that Meher Baba has dropped his body in order to live eternally in the hearts of his lovers. A beautiful message that he had given. And then people started coming. Nearby people started coming. When I went there, I was just, it was morning time, and I left my family behind. I ran up the hill, and from a distance, I saw Arab sitting nearby that the the ditch which was prepared for putting Baba's body, and he was sitting, his head down, and when I just ran, he happened to look at me, and he immediately got up and practically came running to me because we had so very thick relations with all the Baba Mandali, all the senior Mandali, including those, including the women Mandali also. They also knew that we people, our Baba people, Baba likes our group. They knew about it, and then they also had a very good relations with us. Now this we arranged, we gave a very embraced each other so very tightly that and RH, I'm just in a uncontrollably weeping, and RH is trying to console me, saying that Pratap, are you gone mad? Have you gone mad? Baba has not gone anywhere. He is Shashwat in the sense that he is eternally alive. So don't get so much much upset. But then while consoling me, he himself was in tears. Somehow, then we went there. He first took me to down the down the ditch, and I touched Baba's feet, but I could not look at his face because the face which had we were familiar with had changed so much. It had that face had become lifeless. When Baba used to go in long seclusions, we and Baba may not see us for a year or more than a year, but then we very well knew that Baba is there in Mirazad, and that itself was a sort of an assurance for us that today or tomorrow we will be able to meet Baba, we will be able to have darshan. But now that possibility has been shut off, and then all the even Madhusudar was also very much upset because of this happening. Every member of our family, every member of the Baba family, Bhajan Mandali family, they could not sustain this shock. It was a very great shock for us. And in that mood, I went there, and believe me, my children were sick. There also we spread something for the children to sit over, and everybody is just looking at that boy, asking for what has happened and all that. We had put some cover his legs with some cloth. But then in the latter year, my son, who had undergone the suffering, he has expressed his thanks for taking a decision to take the whole family for Baba's darshan there on the first day itself. He said otherwise there would have not been a possibility to see Baba. At least we could see Baba's body. In fact, my two children, my daughter and my first son, when they were born, they were taken to Baba, and then Baba had Baba had kissed them, and then he had sent he had sent my wife and child to the ladies. The ladies also very happy about it. But then third son saw the body, Baba's. After Baba dropping body, he saw Baba's body. But last one, his name is Swarup, he has not seen Baba. Anyway, on the first day when we went there, one Thadi family, my Thadi family who were staying in Pune, they were there. Their Thadi's mother was there. She was very much loving me. She had love for all of us. So she advised me, now Pratap, you won't be able to stay here. There is no special arrangement for anything, right? Where one will take food and where one will sleep and one will take bath and all that. There is no arrangement such. So it will be better if you send all your wife and children to my with me to Pune. And so I sent children and my wife to Pune, and I stayed over for 7 days. In that 7 days, believe me, in that 7 days, now if I try to remember, I do not remember as to where I was taking food, where I was taking bath, where I was sleeping. I don't remember anything about that. Only one thing I do remember, that we used to sit by the samadhi and all our group used to sit there and we used to sing. So many people used to come there and sing. So we also used to sing and weep and sing and weep and all that. That was the only thing. That is the only thing I remember. But people were visiting, so many people were visiting Baba and taking darshan of Baba's body. I remember one incident, and every day doctors keep checking Baba's body. Now the very first day Baba's body was to be interned in the samadhi, but then they kept on. No. When the doctors examined Baba's body, then they extended the time. Saroshi Rani and Adiki Rani and Mani, all the Mandali, lady Mandali, and then in fact nobody was in a mindset to take any decision. It was much relied upon the doctors, but the doctors were giving their opinion to Sarosh and Adi and Mani, and then Dr. Gore also. And the day was extended to one more day, then again one more day. And ultimately perhaps on the third day or so, they have declared that the body will be interned after 7 days, that is right from the beginning to 7 days, seventh day. That was, the message was sent to all people and people started pouring from different parts of the country, even from West also. The whole Sufi group had come there along with Murshida Ivy Youth and Dr. Harry Kenbook was there right from the beginning. One of our friends, Gulabdas Panchal, who was from Mumbai, very staunch lover of Mir Baba, sharing the equal responsibility of creating the Hamirpur Center, the Mirpuri Center. I would say the right hand of Pukarji. This man, Gulabdas Panchal, the doctors were coming to examine Baba's body. I was also running with the doctors. They were there was Dr. Hari Kinabur, there was Dr. Ginde from Mumbai, and one local doctor, and they were going towards the Baba Samari, and I was also trying to go along with them. And this Gulabdas Panchal, he approached the Bombay doctor, Dr. Ginde, Ram Ginde, who was a world famous neurosurgeon. They approached him, and then all the doctors were there. They stopped for a little time, and then he approached him. Then what he suggested, Gulabdas Panchal, what he suggested was that we should do something to preserve the body. We should do something to preserve Meher Baba's body. And he gave an example of Saint Xavier or who, I don't remember the name, in Goa. They have preserved his body. I had seen that body. My
Saint
family
Francis. Saint Francis.
Saint Francis. Saint Francis, and that body is, it is not in a good shape. I have seen that body. When I had visited Goa, I had seen that body. It was not in a good shape. Anyway, these doctors they were requesting, Gulabdas was requesting that why not preserve that body as it is, because people will be able to take Baba's darshan. And this Dr. Harry heard about this discussion, and he said, how long you are going to preserve that body? Would we be able to see that body if it is in it turns into a bad shape? Would you be able to see it? Why for all this? This is not a good idea. And that idea was dropped. Then on the seventh day, it was a really, as I told you, I do not now, I do not remember exactly. But right from the first day, Chagan Master had taken the responsibility of cooking food for the people. On the first day, I remember that I had taken food along with my family. But thereafter, I don't remember. I must have taken the food there only. I must have slept. I must have passed a whole night on the up the hill only. I don't remember actually exactly. Very few things I remember. And then on the seventh day, the whole process was going on to put Baba's body in the samadhi. Every day, they were they were putting fresh ice surrounding Baba's body. And until the last day, seventh day, there was no change, no notable change in Baba's body. It was exactly like the first day only. It's not undergone any major change or any bad look. It was all right. People could be happy, be contented with taking darshan in that state. But it was very hard for us to bear that that incident. The body was dead and put in the samadhi, and everybody was given chance to put a handful of earth. Very, very unbearable time for us. We were in tears all the time, not able to bear this situation. After, I would like to tell you one specific thing is that one of the priests, I do not exactly know where he was, in Mumbai or he was from Nagar. I don't exactly remember, but that priest has reported afterwards. Afterwards, I have read about it. He has said that the body was kept in that samadhi, and they were about to put earth on that. But then, when this priest went there just to take Baba's last darshan, what he says is that Baba got up and sat and gave darshan to that person in a sitting pose. As usual, Baba used to give a darshan in a reclining position. Like that, Baba gave darshan to him. Baba got up and sat, just bending little at the back, and then he had seen Baba in that state. This, of course, this is afterwards. But after that whole process was done, the samadhi was closed, and we were on our way back home. K.K. Ramakrishna had told me. K.K. Ramakrishna had told me he was a little bit upset about that statement. Some 3-4 people were coming down from the hill, and they were discussing about the 5 perfect masters. As Baba has said, that there are always 5 perfect masters. In the absence of the avatar, in the physical absence of the avatar, there are 5 perfect masters who are in charge of the whole affairs of the world. They were talking about searching for such a person now. And K.K. Ramakrishna said that they are coming down the hill after putting Baba in that samadhi, and look at that them, what they are discussing about, that meeting the perfect masters. Anyway, some of the people had not believed that Baba had dropped his body. But then in one of the songs which Madhusudan had composed afterwards, he has stated that Baba's taking body was an act of natural act. And once the body is taken, today or tomorrow the bodies go away. So his dropping of body is not a surprise. One should not take it as a surprise, one should take it as an unusual thing. It is very usual that taking God taking body is also usual, and God dropping that body is also usual. It takes time after 700 years, but then the process is as usual as Jesus. As we also get birth and then we get death. Same way Avtar's body is, after the work is over, he drops his body. People were not ready and able to believe that, because Baba had given a lot of statements about his breaking of silence. At a certain time, Baba had also said that I will not drop my body unless I break my silence. In the present situation of this corona, and also about the world situation the world is going through, the time, the present time, one thing I tell you, one of the statements which Meher Baba had made was about breaking of silence. The statement was, the stones will start dancing. Even the stones will start dancing. Now, when through the news, we were looking this time, this particular time, there have been several cases, so many cases of landsliding. Even the small hillocks were coming down and falling on the houses of the people, village people. And this time it was several such occasions. There had been occasions before that, before this time, but then they were very rare occasions, especially in the Ghat, in the mountain areas. But this time it was very usual, and so many occasions where so many incidents were there, when there were the whole hill has come down. So many cases are like that. There are also so many cases of floods where there were no possibility of any flood. The rivers were actually spreading over the whole land, whole agricultural land, and spoiling the whole crop. Even the villages have been underwater, and people were stuck up in their houses. Now, still, until this time, we are not sure whether we will survive. Look at the situation every day. Every day, some sort of a virus is coming out, and it is troubling the people. There may be some other reasons also, but then the show is created such that everyone is in a state of fear. I have seen people are not going out. The rules and regulations have been put over us to have masks, which we have never done. In Baba, when we used to go to Baba, and if anybody has a cold, Baba would not allow that person to come close. We have to cover up. But that was only for some time. Once it so happened that we were sitting in Guruprasad, and I just had one sneezing, once only. And Baba said, did like this, you are having cold. Now you sit, little, go to backside. After some time, he said that you hide yourself behind somebody. So I went backside. And after a little time, he said that better you go out and sit there. I went out and sat there on the sitting coach. But after 5 minutes, he called me inside again. That was when we used to go to Guruprasad. There is funny incident which we have undergone individually. There were so many incidents. But this time, when we talk about the breaking of silence, after the Bera Mangala project was abandoned because of the war. Government had taken most of the lands, and that project had to be stopped, and the whole Baba group, all the Bandi along with Baba, they again shifted to Mehrabad. They were Westerners also, very actively taking part in the construction of this Bairamagala. But everybody had to go back to Mehrabad. There, once Baba was talking to the ladies, especially Baba sitting among the ladies, and he was describing about the whole happening in the war. Baba had said that the third war, if it breaks, it will be only a question of few minutes, not in hour, few minutes. Within that few minutes, the whole this whole population will be, I mean, killed. This was statement which Mir Baba had, that because the inventions which are taking place nowadays, to have some weapons within your hands. Now, this atom bomb is one of them, but that more than that, Baba said that third world war will have more such weapons which will kill the big population of the people. And the ladies were actually terrified because of this. Baba was describing how that third war, if at all it takes place, how it will be. And then when the ladies were just uneasy to hear all these things, Baba said that there is another option. And what is that option? That option was that there will be a piece by piece wars, some sort of a small wars among the nations. Then there will be killing of the people. Then there will be all these pandemics as it is now undergoing. There will be floods. There will be earthquakes. All these things were there, but that destruction is bound to happen. In the year 1964, Baba had given a statement for his last declaration that 3/4 of the world will be destroyed. And here the process is going on. In fact, one after the other, some problem is cropping up and people are in a state of fear. So that destruction is necessary, perhaps to keep the balance. I have recently I have brought one magazine, yes, Glow magazine. This Glow Winter 2021. recently I have got this, and there is very interesting para from the diary of from the personal diary of Eraj. There is one yogi, one Jal Tapasvi. It's called Jal means water. Tapasvi means one who undergoes that penance. This man was sitting on a rock. This man was sitting on a rock doing tapasya or this penance. And due to flood, that rock had, no, thereafter he shifted to one temple which was nearby. But due to flood, that temple was flown up. And then there were still some remains of that temple there. And he was sitting there. He didn't leave that place thereafter. And Eraj happened to meet him. There is a beautiful conversation in between these two. This you will find in winter 2021. I will just read this particular para. What Eraj says is, when I contacted him at Rishikesh, he inquired, how is Bombay? There is no peace anywhere, I replied. This is Eraj is reporting. And Bombay is the same. Yes, the yogi said. The time has come when 75% of humanity will die. This is that tapasvi, that Rishi says. 75% of the humanity will die, and avatar is already born. Avatar is already born. Nobody has told him about this avatar. But then in the conversation, he is referring to avatar. How can one find that avatar? Eraj is asking that person. And what he replies is, no one knows him. He is already born. And I know it. He moves amongst humanity, unknown as a non-entity. People like Gandhi have worldwide fame, but it is all due to the avatar's backing. Hitler also revolutionized and shook the world, and everyone knew Hitler did it, but it was the avatar who worked through him. Very profound statement that person is making. I continued my questioning. When will the avatar manifest? That is what he says. Eraj says. Eraj is asking him when the avatar will manifest, and he says, after 22 years, answered the sage. For 22 more years, this Narakwasi, Narak means hell-like, hell. Narakwasi world will continue, and then a Swargavasi world will be born. A hell-like world will still remain for 22 years more. And thereafter, a heaven-like world will come into existence. That's what he says. Since the people of both these worlds cannot live together, since the world, since the people of both these worlds cannot live together and reconcile their respective views, 75% of the present world will perish, and the remaining 1/4 will be absorbed in the qualities of the new world. When the new world is born, there will be peace and happiness. And it is only after the physical passing of the avatar that he will be recognized as the avatar, as the savior and worshipped. A very beautiful passage I read recently came into my hands. I think I have I clearly read it. Everything which Baba had said in 1964 Savas, 1954 Savas, that has come, the same thing has come herein, and it is merely repetition of what Baba has said then. One cannot say about Baba when Baba declares certain things. It's not a prediction. It is a truth that God man reveals to the world. Once in Guruprasad, Baba was sitting there. I was present there in so many people. And what Baba had said that whatever I have said, it will come to pass, it will happen. And the whatever is revealed in this happening will be according to whatever I have said. And then the people will remember that this is all Mere Baba had said about this earlier. And then people will recognize me that Mere Baba had said all these things, and then they will accept me. This is one thing. One another thing, very important thing which I would like to share with you is it is said that perhaps among the Sufis, this is a very strong belief that whatever is said by a perfect master, by God realized person, it never goes waste. It will come true. One cannot, one should not never say that it will not happen. It is going to happen. The matter only of time. Many times one is to say that whatever Baba has said is going to happen. Now it is Baba's time. Of course, it is Baba's time. It is Baba's time as to when the things are going to be revealed to the world. For all of us who are Baba lovers, who believe in Baba, they call themselves to be Baba lovers. What is required of them is to remember Baba and watch the situation as it comes to. But always remember Meher Baba. When I was prepared, I was just thinking about this talk, today's talk. I would like to ask all Baba lovers, those who are for a long time in Baba's contact, and those who are new, whether they recite Baba's prayers. In some of the groups I have seen that they don't give much importance to the prayers which Meher Baba is given. They don't give that much importance. In all our programs, in all the programs of all the centers, Baba centers, you will find that we have songs in praise of Meher Baba, then some little talk about Meher Baba's messages or some explanations or some sort of a whatever revelations what Meher Baba has said. That we have, and then we have arti and prayers invariably, arti and prayers. But I have seen some of the groups where they don't give much importance to the prayers which Meher Baba has given. The prayers which Meher Baba has given, I need not tell you the importance of that because I am not in that state of saying about the importance of prayers. It is far, far more important above my thinking even. While we pray, whatever we recite, all the attributes of God or God-man, whether we have any thinking about that, if we have a thinking about that, then our habit of putting Meher Baba's personality in a caste, in a mold created out of our limited understanding. We try to put that Baba's personality, which is beyond everything, beyond our knowledge, beyond our intellect, which is beyond any logic. We want to formulate around him some sort of a logic. And we put Meher Baba within that framework of that logic. It's very much wrong, I think. According to me, it is not our job. We are not capacitated to do anything about that. The only thing that is left with us is to remember Meher Baba whenever we pray, or continuously have that thought in your mind. I won't say that because I'm also not being able to say, just repeat Baba, 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 because we are busy in so many several things. But then we try a little bit to keep that thought, the process of thought in our minds, in our hearts, that goes on. Whatever you may be doing, that thought process goes on. And that sustains you. It is better to do that instead of putting Meher Baba into some logical. Now, when I have spoken about the size, Baba's breaking of silence, it is simply just trying to correlate with the present situation with Baba's statements. The passage which I read from this globe, that is the correlation with what Baba has already said. But we should not try to interpret any Baba statement, because that is beyond our intellect, it is beyond our thinking of our mind. And definitely, we should not limit Baba to the capacity for own thinking. Baba is much beyond that. Our thoughts cannot reach all that prayer. In that prayer, everything is given. So when we recite that prayer, we should have a little bit of our attention to those words also. Once we grasp the personality of the avatar, then of course we need not worry about it, because those thoughts of imagining anything about Meher Baba, they will never come to us. Whatever we receive from Meher Baba, We just wait and watch and receive his love. That is all. One thing, last thing, which I would like to say, time is over now. One thing, last thing I would say, in the book, mostly perhaps in the book, Love Alone Prevails. I could not find that. I don't have that book here in Pune. My book is in Mumbai, but I could not find out that. I would have told you that particular page and passage. There was one incident when Baba made some statement, and Baba's youngest brother Adi, he took sort of he observed before Baba that Baba at such and such time you had said these things. Now what you are saying is quite contrary to that which we had said earlier. He made sort of a challenge. He went out, must have not said, but nobody dares to say Baba gives that sort of a challenge to Baba. But then to bring out to Baba's attention, Baba, you had said that at such and such time you had said something. Now you are telling something else, quite contrary to that which statement you have made earlier. And Baba's reply was very profound reply. What Baba said, that whatever I say, it will turn out to be the truth. Maybe against whatever I have said earlier, but when I say it now, it will turn out to be a truth. If you are able to find out that perfect passage, it's very profound statement which Mera Baba has said. So never apply any limitations to Mera Baba's words or Mera Baba's acts or Mera Baba's statements or Mera Baba's declarations. Never limit them to your own understanding, own intellect. Just wait and watch. And that is our time is over now. I'm very much thankful all of you to a very patient hearing. If at all anything wrong must have said by me, it is because of my inadequacy of my intellect or my understanding. We have today Aarti composed by Bhav Kalchuri. So I hope at your respective places you will join with me. I am singing it now. It is 8:45, more than 8:45. That हुआ लहर से जिसकी सृष्टि का निर्माण, उसकी दैवी अनंतता का कैसे हो अनुमान। आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन, आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन, नमो आवो मेरे प्रभु आ अपनावो, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनावो, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनावो। प्रेम दीप में दिए जलाओ, प्रेम दीप में दिए जलाओ, निबिन अंधेरा मिटता पाओ, निबिन अंधेरा मिटता पाओ, अपना सब कुछ तुम्हें चढ़ाओ, अपना सब कुछ तुम्हें चढ़ाओ, तुम मुझे खुश रखाओ, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। जीवन की हर सांस हमारी, जीवन की हर सांस हमारी, बन जाए प्रभु गति तुम्हारी, बन जाए प्रभु गति तुम्हारी, हे करुणा कर लीलाधारी, हे करुणा कर लीलाधारी, तुम करुणा बरसाओ, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। बने आरती जीवन मेरा, बने आरती जीवन मेरा, आदि अंत का लय हो घेरा, आदि अंत का लय हो घेरा, खुले नयन और दिखे सवेरा, खुले नयन और दिखे सवेरा, तुम मुझ में छा जाओ, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन, आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन, नमो ब्रह्म आवो, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेरे प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। Thank you so much, all of you.
Pratap uncle, thank you so much.
Jai Baba.
For the wonderful evening and taking us to our last darshan, physical darshan program. Yes. So Meher Chand has already his hands up. Yeah.
Yes.
Jai Mer Baba, Kaka, thank you for sharing that. There
Jai
was
Baba.
before Baba dropping the body. Baba
Yes.
has given much indications to the Mandali, but Mandali didn't
Yes.
understand. And especially when 12th January 1969, when Padri Kaka came and asked, Baba, it is now time to close this. Baba said, no, it is the time to start. So when you
What
are
close
telling
it?
about, yeah, it is not to close. And also on 30th January, also again Baba said, what you see, not this body. I'm more than
But,
that.
but there is a
So
reason.
yeah,
There is a reason for not understanding it beforehand, because several times, several times such thing has happened that Baba's health will go, I mean, just so very bad. And then Dr. Gore and everybody will be kept on, I mean, worrying about what will happen. And they will call Dr. Grant. And after Dr. Grant comes there, Baba would be talking in such a fashion that as if nothing has happened to his health. He will be inquiring about the health of that doctor. This was the fun of the whole thing, and how the Mandali going to believe whatever indications Baba must have given. Of course, Baba had given enough indications, but then Mandali also cannot be blamed, because several times this had happened. Now they were living with Mir Baba, and every time this will happen. But when they call for a doctor, doctor comes and Baba's health is quite good. That time Baba has made statement that my health, my health, it is not going to be improved by any medicine or any doctor, because it is my own doing. So
Universal suffering.
whenever Baba falls sick, it is because he wants to fall sick, and that is only for the sake of the world, for the sake of the whole humanity. It is only for that he is undergoing all these
he's
troubles.
suffering.
Burden
Hmm.
of universal suffering.
And also
Yes, yes,
Kaka, he also said, Baba said also on 30th July 1968 itself that
yes,
I've completed my work to 100% of my satisfaction. That is
yes,
I feel that is an indication that Baba's indication that is going to drop. That's my feeling. I may be right, I may be wrong. I don't know.
yes.
That's my interpretation. And
We, as far as we are concerned, we are not thinking about Baba's dropping body. We never thought about that.
yeah, of
That
course, I
thought.
never felt. Yeah. And nobody believed it. Also, there are some
No,
persons in
nobody will.
Hyderabad. They,
Nobody.
yeah, they
Yes,
said Baba is
yes,
not
yes.
dropped. Baba is so no question of
If-
going to Mehrabad itself.
Yes,
Especially
even
MBG,
after
MBG Shastri. He never. Yeah,
MBG Shastri, he never came to Mehrabad. He avoided to came to Mehrabad.
yeah.
That because we feel very short of our intellect to understand Baba. It is
And,
beyond our.
yeah. Also, I feel the day when Baba passed, we don't know how money arranged and how we traveled and all that. We didn't know. We didn't have time to go to the bank, and this nowadays we got ATM facilities and everything is there. Those days, difficult. Banks will be opened at 10 o'clock or some 10:30. But how Baba helped us to go and reach the place in a right time. And one more
Yes,
thing, lastly, but least I don't want to come between. The thing is the arti which you have sang,
yes,
Adi Sachetana. Baba also
yes,
told this should be sang only after dropping off my body
yes,
to Manik Athidarwala. So
yes,
this
yes.
also got some relationship with Baba's dropping of the body. That's what my feeling and my interpretation.
According to the reports given by Madik, Baba had said that after dropping my body, this arti will be sung by people everywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
Before that, it was not being sung. Before that,
yeah.
now for the knowledge of the Westerners, I would say that The first two lines in all these artis. Now take for example the arti of Bhau, which we sang today. Hua Lhar Se Hi Hai. The first two lines are called Doha. It is called as Doha. It is in support of whatever is contained in that arti thereafter. It, the meaning is supporting that whole subject matter. In Madhusudan case also, there is that whole जहाँ कल्पना शब्द न पहुंचे ऐसे अपरंपार नेति नेति वेद पुकारी महिमा तुर्य पर. Now neti neti, what is this neti neti? Can anybody meaning what is this neti neti? Neti neti means it is a Sanskrit word. The full form is not iti, no iti. Neti means no iti. No iti is transferred into neti. Neti means not this, not this, not this, not this. That means God's being is incomparable. It cannot be comparable with anything in this world. Everything, if we say that God is like a ocean, no. Lord like a sky, no. God is like this thing, no. God is like that thing, no. That answer comes no means na iti, not this, not this, not this, not this. So God cannot be compared with anything in this world. That is the state of Godhood. And Madhusudana used that neti neti veda pukare mahima turi apar. That is given in Vedas. So nice. We have a nice time we have with all of you. If anything, if any remarks, anybody has to pass, they can say so. You can ask if there is any query.
Kaka, I myself will again ask. You have seen the Baba, old Baba, some eminent Baba lovers. When Baba dropped, what was their feeling in the face? Especially something can you throw about Pukarji on that day, Pukar. That 7 days, Pukar's appearance and Pukar's reaction of dropping of the body by Baba. Can you say something about that? Because you are physically there.
I tell you, we were not in a mood to look to others. We ourselves were so much. I told you that during those 7 days, after the first day was over, during those 6 days, rest of the 6 days, I don't remember where I was sleeping and where I was taking bath and where I was taking food. It's very, now when I think about it, it's very surprising. It is, these thoughts only come after the whole thing is over. During that time, the body was there. On the first day, I had taken all my children down there to touch Baba's body. But thereafter, we kept on singing and crying and weeping, and we were not in a mood to look to any. If at all we happen to come across something like that, that has not remained in my mind. In fact, I have seen Pukar that time. But then there were several such people who were not in their own well. They were so very upset. Even I cannot imagine I cannot bear that thought even today. What thoughts, what state of mind I had then, I cannot bear it even when I think about that day today. So looking at something else is just simply impossible. That We were so very sad. In fact, not in a position to think also, either good or bad, not in a position to think about that. And I only remember the first day when we went there, when my family was sent to Pune, my children and my wife. I went to Adi's office. Along with me was K.K. Ramakrishna was also there. Somebody else was, I think, third was also there. And we went there. We were in Adi's office just to inquire with Adi whether he needs help from any one of us. But then Adi was not in a mood to talk about these jobs. What he said that it is very shocking, Pratap, very shocking for us, for all the Mandali, as Baba has gone away. We cannot just, we had never imagined this situation. And one thing which I didn't like is that what Adi said that Baba had said so many things about breaking of his silence, and he's now he's dropping his body. Now, how there is also a problem for us how we face the world, we face the queries of the world. And I remember that I had said that Adi Kaka, the thing will repent. People will start accepting Mera Baba as it is. All that queries will disappear, dissolve, and they will accept Mera Baba as it is. I remember that only. But thereafter, Adi said, Adi didn't give in, everything was over. And another thing which I had asked was who had drafted that Meher Baba has dropped his body to live eternally in the hearts of his lovers. It was by Adi Kirani. A beautiful word, beautiful statement which he has made. And thereafter, I had asked how Kalchuri as to who has given this this name Amar Tithi.
Amar.
Amar Tithi.
Yeah.
But Bhau Kalchur told me that it was he who has given this as a Amar Tithi. It's a very unusual name and very apt name, Amar Tithi. That Tithi has become Amar.
So you
Talking about
explain
that.
the meaning. Explain the meaning to foreigners, to Westerners. It's Amar Tithi, and what is the
Amar,
importance of 12 to 12:15?
what is the
Silence.
importance of?
The period
Sorry?
12 to 12:15 silence. The period silence of between 12 to 12:15.
No, I
12 to
don't get it.
12:15. What is the importance of the 15-minute silence?
Fine. Silence.
And also the meaning of Amar Tithi to the my Western brothers and sisters.
Immortal Day.
No,
Amar Tithi,
let it be itself by Pratap uncle because
Hmm.
he might be.
Yes. Amar Tithi is very meaning, very important meaning, but very simple meaning. Amar means which is immortal, and Tithi means that time, the time of God's dropping his body, that has become Amar, that has become immortal. That means the incident of Baba dropping his body at that particular time, that has become immortal. That is the meaning of simple meaning of Amar Tithi. And about that 15-minute silence, I do not know why the people are trying to take out some sort of a meaning out of this. This silence is being observed, according to my understanding, just to lose ourselves in the thought of that tithi or that time, that particular minute, to involve ourselves in that, in the thought of that particular minute. That previous silence is only for that purpose. Otherwise, I don't think any other purpose is there, or any senior people have said about that 50 minutes time. We can imagine if nobody has told, it will be, even if any senior member must have said about it, it will be his own imagination. What I say now is my own imagination, and there is no fixed rule about this. Now, for example, I tell you, sometime Eraj was asked by somebody that, Eraj Kaka, whether that timing 7 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the evening, my time is fixed there. Whether it is necessary for everyone in this world to pray at that particular time. Eraj said, no, it is for the convenience of the Mansari has selected that time, so that there should be some sort of a gathering of the people, and they remember Baba in that particular time, forgetting every job and everything. They gather there and pray to Baba. That is the simple meaning of praying at 7 o'clock. And what Eraj had said, that even I never have maintained that time, because I get up at 5 o'clock and pray. He gave his own example that I pray at 5 o'clock. So it is not binding. But then K.K. Ramakrishnan I had said it before also. K.K. Ramakrishnan had his own version about this 7 o'clock time. 7 o'clock time, if all the people are praying at that particular time, that means they are present in the main function at that samadhi. Everyone throughout the world, wherever he may be, he is present there. This is one thing, and the wavelength, the thought process. Everybody is focused on samadhi during that prayer time. That whatever population comes within that rays joining with that samadhi. My thought process is joining with the samadhi. So whatever is coming, on that I mean the joining line, that gets benefited from that praying at that particular time. This was K.K. Ramakrishna, and this was beautiful. Whatever is coming in that wavelength, they are being benefited by that. It's a nice interpretation. But then these are interpretation, individual interpretation of the people. That 15 minutes time, in fact, nobody has thought over it. And if at all anybody has thought over it, it is his own version about it. There is no binding about that. Now, there should be some sort of a discipline every time. Supposing if we are maintain, we have to focus ourselves on that particular minute, and people keep on talking and going here and there, then that cannot be, that focus cannot be steady focus. For that matter, and people to appreciate the feelings of the whole world about that minute Baba dropping his body. It is said that Baba had a very big spasm, and he becomes silent. And Mani was not ready to believe money. Doctors say Dr. Ginde came just after that this Baba dropped his body. Baba was all the time inquiring about whether Ginde has come. He only knows why Ginde. And that Ginde, when he came there, just a minute before Baba had dropped his body. So all these things are, if we try to interpret that, it is our own version, own understanding, own interpretation that cannot be. I mean, just maybe people may have different feeling, different thoughts, different interpretation about that. So there is no hard and fast, but it is once it is laid down as a discipline, then one should follow. All the Baba love should follow that, since it has been decided by all majority that this time will be a silence time for all of us. People should observe it. People should observe it because it has been decided at that time. Even the samadhi, why people gather there, because it has been decided by someone for a better atmosphere. So all these are our own thinking, own imagination, but then we should abide by that. Just to maintain that silence, just to maintain that silence. You see, when you go into that silence, we all think about that particular moment, how Baba dropped his body. If we keep on moving and keep on talking, that moment will not come. There is only this reason. If somebody has given some other reason, I don't know, and I am not also concerned about that. This is what my understanding was.
Thank you, Kaka. Thank you very much. As I thought of, just only, don't misunderstand me, I just thought of extracting views from you. That's all. I know that is your own interpretation. Jai Mer Baba. Thank you.
Ralph had his hand up. Ralph.
Yes. No, I think we don't have time today, but I was going to bring to mind, and maybe if we talk next week or the following week, we can discuss what came to my mind regarding the 3/4 was Baba's final declaration and final decision. And I recall the final declaration from reading, like when I first came to Baba, 1969, was the book I read most was The God Man. And I just read it all the time. And the final declaration started and was sort of had to do with when in September 54, Baba wanted those who were devoted to him to come to Mehrabad for special meeting, intimate meeting. And he talked about this, but the 3/4 and things that he had been in seclusion had determined, and this final. I thought there were 4 topics involved with the final declaration, but I'm only finding 2, glancing back through the God Man here as you've been talking, Pratap. So that was my point, but I don't think we have time to get into it today. Yeah. Thank you. But that's up to you, of course. Jai Baba, yes.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Final declaration. Yeah. Sure, I think we can.
Ganesh.
Yes, so final declaration is something he wants to hear about, Ralph. So maybe in the
final declaration is by Meher Baba himself. And that declaration was that Baba has said other things also. Baba had said that it will be a time of his humiliation, and he will suffer a death, violent death, from very near one amongst his near one who very close person. Baba would suffer a death, violent death. Now one cannot interpret what Baba has said. And another thing which has said is that 3/4 of the world will be destroyed. Now, what the passage which I had read is clearly speaking about that the saintly person clearly speaks about these 3/4 of the world will be destroyed. But another incident which I would like to tell is one of the very great saints of Maharashtra, Gadge Maharaj. You must have heard the name of Gadge Maharaj. Our K.K. Ramakrishnan and one other person, Babalore from Pune, by name Bhausar, they had gone to meet this Gadge Maharaj after that declaration. After a few days after that declaration, there were a lot of criticism, lot of statements made by a lot of news followed by that declaration which Bab had made about the 3/4 world, especially about that. All the other things which Baba had said about his own dropping his body or own death, violent death, that has not been discussed in the newspaper, but particularly this aspect that 3/4 of the world will be destroyed was discussed several times. What had appeared in the newspapers, and people have said that how Meher Baba could say that. Now, these two persons from our side, K.K. Ramakrishna and Bhausar, they went to meet Gadge Maharaj. And Gadge Maharaj was walking to and fro. And these two were also following the Gadge Maharaj. And Gadge Maharaj had said, just remember this thing. Gadge Maharaj said he was, according to what Baba had said, is Gadge Maharaj was on the 6th place. What Gadge Maharaj said was, why Meher Baba should give such a declaration? Whatever he has to do, he should do it. Why he openly say it so? And Ramakrishna gets much, both Ramakrishna and Bhausar get disturbed about what Gadge Maharaj is saying about Meher Baba's declaration. In one way, he was not favorable to Baba declaring this 3/4 of the world will be destroyed. What he meant is, why Baba should declare? What will happen to happen, but why he should declare? That invites criticism from the people. That is what his point, Gadge Maharaj's point was there. And these two got very much disturbed and said, Maharaj, you have declared that in Pandharpur, when Baba visited Pandharpur, you yourself had declared that this is living Vithoba, who is standing right in front of you. You have given that much of status to Baba, and now you say that Gadge Maharaj said, yes, I do agree, 100% agree that he is God in human form. There is no doubt it in my mind. But then about that statement, he said, now these are great people. They know what to do. Who are we to say we should have done this, we should have done that? They have their own reason for such a declaration. So, whatever declaration Meher Baba has made, nobody can interpret. Thereafter, Baba had given clarification about these statements when the people were so much churning about these statements which Mir Baba had said about the population. Baba said that
Yes.
Baba had to give a clarification. That clarification was, just listen. That clarification was certain things I speak in your language. Certain things I speak in my language and your language, which you can understand. But certain things I speak only in my language, which nobody can understand except the perfect masters. So this clarification Baba had to give thereafter, and Baba had given that clarification. But all these facts, all these things, they are Baba's own purpose. We are not capable of even interpreting. Only the thing that I was just trying to correlate what is happening. I said that when Baba had said by breaking our silence that even stones will start dancing. So all these breaking, all the collapse of those big hillocks, all the big stones were rolling down. That can be interpreted as a dancing. This is my own feeling of it. It may be wrong or it may be correct. People may agree, may not agree. But I feel that this is more or less it is like stones dancing. So I think this is what I have to say. I can say about on Baba's final declaration. Anything else?
See, just Betty had her hand up. Betty,
Yes.
Betty, you're on mute. You're on mute.
All right. I just wanted to say it's such a privilege to hear what you have to. You were there. It's wonderful that you share with us your
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very much.
Thank you so much, Pratap Uncle. Beautiful evening. And
Yes,
remembering Baba and taking us to the last physical darshan of Baba. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining.
Jai
So we will conclude with 3 times Avatar Mehr Baba Ki Jai. Everybody can mute.
Yes, please.
Avatar Meher
Meher
Baba.
Baba ki jai.
Jai.
Avatar
Aar
Meher
Meher Baba ki jai.
Jai.
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Kaka.
Thank you.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Thanks, Baba.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
You are Baba full Amar Titi.
Jai Bob.
Yes. Yes. To everybody.